AFC Executive Committee members, Member Association delegates, representatives of the regional associations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 31st AFC Congress. The Congress will commence shortly. May we remind the voting delegates to remain logged in on the Congress landing page at all times. Thank you. AFC Executive Committee members, Member Association delegates, representatives of the regional associations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 31st AFC Congress.
For the first time in the history of global sport, there was silence in our stadiums. The roar of Asia's passionate fans, echoing in the stadiums, slowly faded in the background. Football, the sport we all love, faced its toughest ever opponent. But in our darkest hours, there was a glimmer of hope. An opportunity to mark football's return. Through the unity and solidarity of the continent, football slowly restarted. Our football heroes occupied the empty pitches as our medical heroes led the way forward. The aura of excitement and anticipation was restored. Fans tuned in to watch their favorite teams on television. Social media lit up in record numbers. Asia's adoring fans made their presence felt by finding innovative ways to cheer their teams. We continue to be united by the power of football, even when faced by our greatest challenge. We continue to endure and resist. Together, we have made the impossible possible again. Asian football is back, and together, the AFC and its members remain united and are stronger than ever to take the game to even greater heights.
Good morning, AFC President, FIFA President, FIFA Secretary General. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the Presidents and General Secretaries of the Confederations, AFC Executive Committee members, Member Association delegates and Presidents of the Regional Associations. Welcome to the virtual 31st AFC Congress 2021. Before we proceed with the Congress, please allow me to provide some housekeeping information for your knowledge. Please be informed that translation is available in Arabic and English. The options are available at the top right corner of the Congress platform, where you may choose your preferred language. The voting delegates are reminded to remain logged in throughout the Congress. I will now provide instructions on the e-voting process. All votes will be conducted in the Congress platform itself. When a vote is called, you will see a pop-up window on your screen with the voting question together with 4 buttons. Click the Yes button to vote in favor, the No button to vote against. Click the Abstain button to abstain. Once you have made your selection, click the Submit button to submit your vote. The e-voting process will run as follows. After reviewing the question, I will inform the Congress that the window period for voting is now open. You will then be required to submit your vote within the window period. After making your selection, the relevant button will be highlighted. After the relevant button is highlighted, click Submit at the bottom. After clicking Submit, another pop-up window will appear. To confirm your vote, click Confirm. To change your vote, click Cancel. If you decide to change your vote, you would need to repeat the same process. The duration of a vote is 45 seconds. A vote has to be confirmed or can be changed by clicking the relevant button, either Confirm or Cancel, on the pop-up window within the duration of the vote. We will now practice the voting system with 3 test questions. Question 1. Is the 31st AFC Congress being held online? Select Yes to vote in favor, select No to vote against, and select Abstain to abstain. Click the Submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the voting results. We have the results for the first question. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 43, votes required for a simple majority 22. We have 43 yeses, we have 0 no and 2 abstain. We will now move on to the second question. Question 2. Is the AFC House headquartered in Kuala Lumpur? Select Yes to vote in favor, select No to vote against, and select Abstain to abstain. Please press the Submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 42, votes required for a simple majority 22. We have 39 yeses, 3 noes, 3 abstain. We will now move on to the third and final question. Question 3. Is the 31st AFC Congress being held on 27th of November 2021? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 44, votes required for a 3/4 majority 33. We have 42 yeses, 2 noes and 1 abstain. Thank you very much for your participation in the test. Ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes my housekeeping remarks. It's my pleasure now to invite His Excellency Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, the AFC President, to give his opening remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Dear FIFA President, our dear friend Gianni Infantino, dear Member Association and Regional Association Presidents, General Secretaries, honorable guests, friends and colleagues. It's my privilege to welcome you all to the 31st AFC Congress. For the second time, we gather virtually. Like you, I was looking forward to meeting you in person, but unfortunately, the pandemic continues to impose great challenges across Asia and the world. And the AFC, as you know, will always prioritize the health and safety of all our stakeholders. While we are not together in the same room, I know that today the AFC and its members are together in spirit. It's the same spirit of unity and solidarity that has been seen in Asian football since it's been the spirit, a unity of solidarity that has been in the Asian football since the rise of the great adversity. It was crucial for us to show the world that we were able to strengthen the solid foundation built on the last 8 years. And slowly but surely, thanks to the unity of the AFC members, and the Asian football continues to deliver and honor its promise. The coming years will be a crucial period for the AFC and our members, and Asia will be the center of football as our great continent prepares to stage the upcoming editions for both men and women's FIFA World Cups. I'm also pleased that the FIFA President, Gianni Infantino, is with us as well. And we thank him once more for the confidence he and the rest of FIFA have placed in Asia. The football world has trusted Asia, and you can count on us to deliver. I will address you later in the Congress, and now I request the General Secretary to conduct the Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Before proceeding further with the agenda, we would like to take a moment of silence to show our respect to all our football officials, players, referees, administrators, and fans who passed on since the last AFC Congress. A moment of silence. Thank you. We will now move on to agenda number 2, roll call. Kindly note that the AFC General Secretariat has been informed by the DPR Korea Football Association that it is unable to attend the 31st AFC Congress 2021. We thank them for their notice. The Pakistan Football Federation has been suspended by FIFA. We will now commence with the roll call. Please confirm your attendance by clicking the yes button. We have 45 seconds to confirm your attendance. The window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the attendance. Member associations present 45. The following article of the AFC Statutes may give rise to a member association not being permitted to vote in the Congress. Article 11.6 of the AFC Statutes, edition 2020. Member associations which do not participate in at least 2 of the AFC competitions as determined by the Executive Committee over a period of 2 consecutive years immediately prior to a Congress shall be suspended from voting at the Congress until they have fulfilled their obligations in this respect. Accordingly, there are 45 AFC member associations present, and only 40 of those member associations have the right to vote. The following member associations have not participated in at least 2 of the AFC competitions over a period of 2 consecutive years immediately prior to the 31st AFC Congress: Afghanistan Football Federation, Football Association of Brunei Darussalam, DPR Korea Football Association, Macau Football Association, Northern Mariana Islands Football Association, Yemen Football Association. Notwithstanding the previous slide, Article 33.2.1 and 5 of the AFC Statutes, Edition 2020 provides as follows. 33.2, the duties of the Executive Committee are as follows. 1. To approve and submit to the Congress the following. Point 5. Other proposals submitted by the Executive Committee members in accordance with these statutes. As a result of the challenges brought about by the global COVID-19 pandemic throughout 2020 and 2021, the AFC Executive Committee has decided to submit a proposal to the 31st AFC Congress 2021 pursuant to Article 33.2(1) and 5 of the statutes. The AFC Executive Committee submitted the following proposal. Number 1, that all member associations which have failed to participate in at least 2 of the AFC competitions over a period of 2 consecutive years immediately prior to the 31st AFC Congress 2021 shall not be suspended from voting at the 31st AFC Congress 2021 in recognition of the challenges posed by the global COVID-19 pandemic. Number 2, in order to properly effect the foregoing, that the AFC Executive Committee submits a motion to the 31st AFC Congress 2021 in accordance with Article 27.3 of the statutes to amend and or alter the agenda of the 31st AFC Congress 2021 in order to allow the aforementioned AFC Executive Committee's proposal as set out in paragraph 1 above, to be decided by the AFC Congress immediately before the declaration that the 31st AFC Congress shall be convened and composed in compliance with the statutes, in order that the relevant member associations can exercise their voting rights during the 31st AFC Congress 2021 on all items on the agenda. Article 27.3 of the AFC Statutes, Edition 2020 states that any motion to amend and or alter the agenda of an ordinary Congress must be adopted by a 3/4 majority of the member associations present and eligible to vote. Dear delegates, in this regard, do you approve the amendment and or alteration of the agenda of the 31st AFC Congress 2021? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 40, valid votes cast 39, votes required for a 3/4 majority 30. We have 39 yeses, 0 no and 1 abstain. Thank you for approving the alteration of the 31st AFC Congress 2021 agenda. Next, do you approve that all member associations which have failed to participate in at least 2 of the AFC competitions over a period of 2 consecutive years immediately prior to the 31st AFC Congress 2021 shall not be suspended from voting at the 31st AFC Congress 2021 in recognition of the challenges posed by the global COVID-19 pandemic? As this proposal is akin to an amendment to the AFC Statutes, and in consideration of Article 29.4 of the AFC Statutes, this proposal can only be adopted with the approval of 3/4 of the votes cast by the member associations present and eligible to vote. Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 40, valid votes cast 39, votes required for a 3/4 majority 30. We have 39 yeses, 0 no and 1 abstain. Thank you for your approval. Accordingly, members' associations present 45, member associations with the right to vote 45, quorum 23, simple majority more than 50% is 23, 3/4 majority 75% is 34. Agenda item 3, declaration that the Congress has been convened and composed in compliance with the statutes. I now invite the AFC President to make the declaration.
Thank you, Datu. I declare the 31st AFC Congress has been convened and composed in compliance with the statute. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Item 4, approval of the Congress agenda. Dear delegates, do you approve the amended agenda of the 31st AFC Congress 2021? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 44, votes required for a simple majority 23. We have 44 yeses, 0 no, and 1 abstain. Thank you for approving the amended agenda of the 31st AFC Congress 2021. We move on to the next in the agenda, item 5, address by the FIFA President, Mr. Gianni Infantino. It's my pleasure to kindly request the FIFA President to give his address.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I hope so, because I cannot hear you, or I cannot hear anything anymore, but I guess that you can. Otherwise, I think that somebody would make some signals to me. In any case, dear President of AFC, my dear friend Salman, of the AFC Executive Committee, dear AFC members, dear FIFA Council members, it is a great, great pleasure for me to be here with you in this virtual Congress. Unfortunately, as last year, we cannot meet in person, but I'm sure and I hope that we can meet again very, very soon. And as a matter of fact, this last year has been a great year in terms of the partnership between FIFA and AFC. We have been working together very, very closely. It has been a challenging year, as you all know, but together we have mastered this year, and we are moving ahead with what will be another challenging year. I've had the chance to see some of you days ago in Saudi Arabia for the final of the AFC Champions League, and I would like, of course, to congratulate Al Hilal for the victory. I would like to congratulate the AFC for the great organization. It was good to see a full stadium, an atmosphere, a passion that is really incredible, as we have witnessed it there in Riyadh, and we witness it in many other places in Asia. As we have seen already as well in your video at the very beginning, football had stopped and football resumed slowly and surely, putting health, of course, as the number one priority. And we have all together been able to resume the competitions of AFC, the World Cup qualifiers. It was not easy, and I want to congratulate and thank you for having adhered very, very strictly to all the health protocol. As President Sheikh Salman said, and we are exactly on the same line on this, health comes first. But we have been able to give back hope to people by putting football back, and qualifiers have started. There are still 4 rounds to play in Asia in January, February, and then we will know which are the teams that qualify for Qatar, and then the 4 teams and then the 5th teams will come out, of course, as you know, of the playoffs. We are also, of course, pleased in this particular situation to have been able to put in place, in addition to the forward program, in addition to the different solidarity activities that we do, the COVID-19 relief. Thank Sheikh Salman. I want to thank all the FIFA Council members present for having accepted to put in place this fund, which is unique in the world of sport and which is helping many of you to keep football alive. It is important, it is crucial. FIFA is today in a very strong position from a governance, from a financial point of view, and this allows us to put in place measures like the COVID-19 relief fund for all of you in the moment of need. Because you are FIFA, you are part of FIFA, AFC is part of FIFA, we are all together in the same organization, and if we are strong, you are all strong. Now we are moving to a crucial year for Asian football, probably the biggest in the history of Asian football so far. We have the World Cup in 2022, which is in less than 1 year now, taking place in Qatar just last weekend. We celebrated the 1 year to go until the kickoff of the greatest show on earth, which, as you know, is not only the greatest show on earth, but it is also the biggest event, sporting and social, in the world, with more than half of the world population focusing on Asia, on Qatar, for this World Cup. And let me say this, I've been in football now for quite a few years, a couple of decades even, and I've never witnessed a host to host such a big event as Qatar. 1 year before the event, we have all stadiums ready, the infrastructure is fantastic, state of the art. It will be not only the best ever World Cup, but it will also be a truly unique World Cup. And as you know, in a few days' time, we start with the test event for this World Cup, which is more than actually just a test event, because there's a real FIFA competition. It is the FIFA Arab Cup with teams from Asia and from Africa participating. And all of us and all of you can be really proud of Qatar, of the work which is done. You are all invited. You should come, you should witness, you should see the stadiums. It is really, really incredible. Shortly thereafter as well, end of January, early February, the AFC Asian Cup 2022, which will take place in India, the first one with 12 teams. I commend you and congratulate you for that. It will serve as well as a qualifier to the World Cup later on next year in Australia and New Zealand, where again Asia is involved. Club World Cup will take place in February in Abu Dhabi as well, with, of course, 2 Asian teams participating. So the best of luck to them and also to all the other teams. We'll have a great event in Abu Dhabi, who is experienced to organize these events, and we look very much forward to be there. We have then the FIFA Congress this year as well in Asia, in Doha, obviously linked with the final draw for the FIFA World Cup. Again, a celebration of global football, a celebration of Asian football, a celebration of football in the Gulf, a celebration of football in the Arab world, a celebration of football in Qatar. But more importantly, the occasion for all of us to meet again in person and be together and shape the future of football. And the future is about our youth as well, and the youth is also happening in Asia, because we have the Under-17 Girls World Cup in India later on this year. So Asia is ready to shine on the global scale. Asia will do a fantastic job to promote football globally. And Asia will also be promoted globally, because we can only expect the top of the top when we come to Asia. We know that, and we are proud and happy to be Asian like you and to be part of your family and your community. Not mentioned in my address the future of football. We are discussing currently about it. We have been requested by the FIFA Congress, by all of you, by 88% of the FIFA member associations, to explore the feasibility of hosting biannual World Cups for men and for women. And we have decided to mandate, as you know, 2 true experts in these areas, Arsene Wenger for the men's and Jill Ellis for the women's game, to look into that from a football point of view to start with, not from an economic, commercial, or political point of view, but really from a football perspective. So these 2 experts have been looking at it together with their team of coaches, players, legends, technical football experts. And they presented, of course, some ideas and proposals which are up for consultation, up for discussion. But we all must know and realize that we are in a critical juncture of football. Our game, we need to protect football, global football, for our youth, for our boys, for our girls. We need to keep the game relevant for them. And we need as well, it is our responsibility to give them an opportunity, a chance to dream, a chance to be part, a chance to have their teams being part of tournaments in the global stage. It is important that we do that, because we cannot have football confined to one part of the world. It has to be open. It is normal, obviously, in this debate, in this discussion, that you have associations who are in favor, you have others who are against, you have stakeholders who are in favor, you have stakeholders who are against. It is a crucial topic, we know that. And obviously, often those who are not in favor of change are those who are at the top and want to keep it the way it is, because so they will remain at the top. We understand that. That's clear, and we applaud them, of course, for their success and for how they developed and came to reach this success. But at the same time, it is our responsibility, and it's the responsibility of the global football community to listen to everyone, to hear everyone, to consult with everyone. It is important that you, all the members of FIFA from all over the world, have the opportunity to make your voice heard, not just to go at the FIFA Congress and vote for something, but to make your voice heard. And the world has to listen to you, because this is our responsibility. And we need to open the doors. We need to be inclusive for the entire world. Now, we will see what the end result of this consultation will be. We'll have a global summit on the 20th of December, where we present as well not only the sporting side, but also the economic side of these proposed amendments. We have already taken on board some comments and amended some of the proposals slightly, so you will hear more about that. And maybe we will be having a biannual World Cup. Maybe we'll having other opportunities to play at intercontinental level, for you to play more meaningful games, more challenging games, in order to improve the quality of your game. So we look forward to the summit with all of you on the 20th of December. We look forward for our ongoing discussions and debates on how we can make football better. And again, like I just repeated, we'll make it only if it will be beneficial for everyone in football. We want global football to grow, and global football is global football. It's everyone in the world has to grow, and this is our ambition. Similarly, we'll work on youth competitions. We want to play them on a yearly basis, as you know, because only if our young boys and girls can compete also there at the highest level more regularly, improve the development and training of players. And we are also happy, of course, to work together with AFC in order to boost again club football. I can only repeat that the final of the Champions League in Asia was a fantastic event a couple of days ago. So the potential is definitely there. And also there, we need to work together to make it much more relevant and to compete at the best level. And I'm looking very much forward to this. In addition to the sporting role, there is, of course, as well the social role that we have together to touch future generations, to make our sport grow, to leave a legacy and an impact in our society. And in Asia, we have billions of people and hundreds of millions of young boys and girls. And we need to, of course, do whatever we can to protect them and to inspire them. We've done so together with you in some activities with the World Health Organization. I would like to thank all of you in ASEAN in particular, but also in the other regions who have contributed with us to these campaigns, to the Reach Out campaign, to the Act Together campaign. It is important that football is there to pass these messages about health and also about education, such as the Football for Schools project, which we are rolling out in Asia as well. Dear President, dear friends, let me conclude to thank you all, but in particular, my dear friend Sheikh Salman, Senior Vice President of FIFA, Chair of the FIFA Development Committee as well, for his leadership, for his crucial role in bringing football together, in shaping the future of football. We are part of the same team. We have to foster team spirit, and that's what we are doing. And as we look in New Year for Asia and for global football, I conclude by wishing you an excellent Congress and looking forward to see you very, very soon in person as well, in Asia most certainly. Thank you very much. All the best and see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you to the FIFA President. It's my pleasure now to kindly request the AFC President to give his address. President.
Dear friends and colleagues, there is no denying that the COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest crisis of our time. 2021 saw new waves of outbreak impact nearly every city and nation in Asia and across the globe. And yet, when we reflect on the year, we can take great pride in the way Asian football has responded. It was a response that showed the strength of our purpose and the clarity of the AFC vision. In these challenging times, our members displayed great solidarity and unity. Slowly, we began to see the game we all love return safely. And our members led the way by resuming their domestic league, as did the regional association with the regional competitions. And let us remember that the national and local competitions are the basis for the success of football. And at all times, the health of our stakeholders remain at the heart of our all efforts. As our confidence grew, so did our determination to deliver the AFC world-class competition for our members, as outlined in our vision. We adapted quickly with the most of our competition changing to a centralized format, and it was necessary approach that enabled us to successfully complete our various competitions. Our praise must go to all the host member associations and, of course, to all our members for their commitment and dedication towards our recovery. So I think that we can congratulate ourselves on this success. We should continue to work harder to come back stronger and aim at a higher level, and we will do it together. Competitions drive development and should be complemented by the broad technical support. By embracing the latest technology, we managed to continue our technical work. Through a series of online technical referees and development sessions, we continue to uplift the capabilities of our member and regional associations. We share the same objective as the FIFA President, which is to build Asian national teams and clubs that can succeed on the global stage. But to do this, we need to work from the grassroots up. What we invest at the grassroots is the most important because that's our future. We need more youth and children competitions. We need clubs and leagues from local level all the way up to the national level. This is what will make strong national leagues and national teams. That, in turn, will make stronger regional and Asian competitions. The AFC will continue to provide financial, technical, and development support to achieve these goals. Guided by the AFC's vision, our achievements on the pitch were matched by our commitment to strengthen our member and regional associations off the pitch. It was crucial that we continue to ensure our members were the best possible position to uphold the standard of good governance and integrity. In the area of education, we recently launched the AFC Academic Center of Excellence, ACE, which we hope will rise the professional standards across Asian football. The Football Management Certificate and Diploma programs under the ACE will strengthen the capacity of both the current and future leaders in Asia. This is only the beginning, with more educational programs to be launched in the near future. There will also be changes to the AFC Financial Assistance Program and the AFC Regional Association Fund. Significant improvements have been made to the two programs, which were so essential for our member and regional association during these challenging times. I'm happy to announce these two programs will now be known as the AFC Enhanced Member Association Program and the AFC Enhanced Regional Association Program. These two improvements will clear the way for our investment to be distributed over a 4-year cycle. Now, over 4 years, the member association will get $2 million, while the regional association will receive $1 million. This will help them plan their development program better. It will also enable us to ensure the highest standard of good governance and greater accountability. I'm also pleased to announce that we will be bringing back a more structured and tailor-made technical support initiatives, which was suspended due to the COVID. Furthermore, a comprehensive social responsibility strategy is under development for the AFC. This strategy will further enhance our mission to undertake effective social responsibility throughout the continent. And of course, our commitment to child safeguarding is more than ever now. We must protect our children. A strong policy will be ready by the end of the year, and I hope that we will do our best to ensure a safe environment for the children. I'm pleased to announce that the Dream Asia Foundation Board has been established and members have been approved by the AFC Executive Committee recently. You will hear more of this in the coming days. We are also exploring more ways to uplift our competitions for our teams and players and passionate fans. The AFC Champions League, as you know, is the top of the club football in Asia. We just concluded the final of the ACL in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Congratulations to Al Hilal for emerging the champions for the 4th time, and well done to the Saudi Arabian Football Federation for hosting an amazing event. The AFC Cup continues to provide a great development stage for the clubs from so many of our member associations. As we look at the next stage of development, we are reviewing our regulations and restrictions on foreign players. We also are working towards changing the AFC Club competition season in 2023. So you see, my dear friends, we are leaving no stone unturned in our ambition to ensure the Asian football continues to be a world class. As I have said before, this is Asia's time. In less than 2 months, we will usher in 2022 with the AFC Women's Asian Cup in India, expanded to 12 teams. It represents our desire to strengthen and grow the women's game in Asia. And I'm confident that the All India Football Federation and the local organizing committee will provide our female stars with a perfect stage. India will also host the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in 2022. And the spotlight will remain in Asia with the FIFA Club World Cup moved to the United Arab Emirates in February 2022. In just a few days, Qatar will host the FIFA Arab Cup, and we wish Qatar and all the Asian participant teams the very best of success. 20 years after Japan and Korea Republic, the World Cup Qatar 2022 will be the best proof of Asia's progress and the great stride we have made together. Football, we must always remember, is the people's game. And in Asia, we have the biggest audience on the planet. The AFC is determined to support Qatar in hosting their greatest ever FIFA World Cup to date. It'll be an exciting time. It will indeed be Asia's time. I'm rooted in this unity, and I firmly believe that Asian football will continue to scale even greater heights. I thank you all for your continued and loyal support.
Thank you, President. We move on to agenda item 6, Appointment of the 3 scrutineers to check the voting. We will now move on to the appointment of scrutineers. The following criteria shall be applied to the appointment of scrutineers. The individual must be a Congress delegate, must not be a voting delegate, must not be a candidate for election, must not represent the same member association as any other candidate. The following individuals are proposed as scrutineers: Mr. Mark Falwo, Football Australia; Mr. Muhammad Shannon bin Haji Muhammad Saleh, Football Association of Brunei Darussalam; and Mr. Muhammad Hazam Al Daheri, United Arab Emirates Football Association. The delegates, do you approve the appointment of the proposed scrutineers? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the AFC legal team to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 44, votes required for a simple majority 23. We have 44 yeses and 1 abstain. Thank you for approving the appointment of the scrutineers. Agenda item 7, appointment of the 3 members to check the official minutes. We will now move on to the appointment of the 3 individuals to check the official minutes. The following criteria shall be applied to the appointment of the minutes checkers. The individual must be a Congress delegate, must not be a voting delegate, must not be a candidate for election, must not represent the same member association as any other candidate. The following individuals are proposed as minutes checkers: Mr. Vincent Yuan, Hong Kong Football Association Limited; Mr. Koko Tien, Myanmar Football Federation; and Mr. Yazin Bukhari, Football Association of Singapore. Dear delegates, do you approve the appointment of the proposed minutes checkers? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 45, votes required for a simple majority 23. We have 45 yeses. Thank you for confirming the minutes checkers. They will be required to review the official minutes after the Congress. We now move to agenda item 8, suspension or expulsion of a member association. This item is not applicable for this Congress. Agenda item 9, dismissal of a person or a body. This item is also not applicable for this Congress. Agenda item 10, approval of the minutes of the preceding Congress. The minutes of the 30th AFC Ordinary Congress 2020 held on the 9th of December 2020 has been sent to the member associations previously. The AFC has received no comments regarding these minutes. So delegates, do you approve the minutes of the 30th AFC Ordinary Congress 2020 held on the 9th of December 2020. Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. The results: members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 44, votes required for a simple majority 23. We have 44 yeses and 1 abstain. Thank you for approving the minutes of the 30th AFC Ordinary Congress 2020 held on the 9th of December 2020. We move on now to agenda item 11, General Secretary's report for the period preceding the Congress. The General Secretary's report was sent to all member associations prior to this Congress in accordance with the AFC Statutes. No questions have been received regarding the report. Thank you for taking note. Agenda item 12, reports of the committees and bodies. In accordance with the AFC Statutes, it is my pleasure to present to you the reports of the committees and bodies. These reports are presented by video. now move on to agenda item 13, approval of the audited financial statements and audited reports as at 31st December 2020. The AFC Finance Committee Chairperson, Mr. Mariano Araneta Jr. will now address the Congress via video.
Mr. President, members of the AFC Executive Committee, MA Presidents, distinguished guests, friends, colleagues, warm greetings, and I hope you are all keeping safe. The year 2020 will be remembered in modern history for the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is undoubtedly one of the greatest crises the world has faced. But despite the great challenges, I am pleased to note that the AFC remained committed towards strengthening its financial foundations and ensuring the long-term development of its members and regional associations. It is my great privilege to address you and to present the following agenda. In accordance with the Article 42 of the AFC Statutes, I recommend to the AFC Congress the financial statements and auditor's report for the year 2020. The financial statements have been audited by our external auditors, Ernst & Young, and I'm pleased to advise that we have received an unqualified auditor's report. The Audit and Compliance, Finance and Executive Committees have all reviewed and approved the financial statements and the auditor's report. To showcase the financial performance and investment in 2020, we have prepared a short video. I look forward to your approval of the report. Thank you.
The 2020 financial statements reflect the steadfast efforts of the AFC in ensuring financial stability during the COVID-19 pandemic, one of the biggest crises in modern history. The AFC's emphasis on negotiating the challenges was to prioritize the safety and well-being of all stakeholders and delivering its commercial commitments. Key financial highlights. Revenue for the year was $164.2 million. Investment expenditure was $163.9 million. A surplus of $0.3 million was achieved compared to a budgeted deficit of $25.4 million. The AFAP disbursements of $18.3 million benefited 37 MAs. Cash and fixed deposit balances increased by 29.6% from $133.3 million in 2019 to $172.8 million. Revenue. Due to a curtailed competitions calendar, the AFC was impacted by a reduction in revenue from $197.8 million to $164.2 million, a reduction of $33.6 million. Revenue from contracts with commercial and broadcast partners was $143.7 million, declining from $171.3 million in 2019. The FIFA Forward Fund of $14 million was received, including $2 million from the FIFA COVID-19 Solidarity Fund, and was utilized for the successful staging of the 2020 AFC Champions League. Other income for the year was lower at $3.8 million. Investment expenditure. Investment expenditure was lower by 33.5% from $246.5 million in 2019 to $163.9 million. AFAP investment of $18.3 million remained a key source of funding for a majority of the MAs. Investment expenditure under the AFC President's infrastructure initiatives was $3.7 million, with 10 infrastructure projects completed. The AFC President's technical staff initiatives continued to gain strong momentum, with 28 MAs benefiting from an increased investment of $4.2 million in 2020 compared to $2.9 million in 2019. As conferences and seminars were conducted virtually, investment in education, technical and referees programs was lower at $1.6 million. A total of 18 online and on-site courses, programs and webinars were completed for referees education, with another 15 online sessions for coaches, youth and women's football development during the year. Competitions. Due to the escalation of the pandemic, the AFC was forced to postpone and/or cancel 10 competitions, with only 2 competitions successfully delivered. The AFC Under-23 Championship Thailand 2020, which marked the first full debut of the video assistant referee system, was successfully completed with an investment of $5.7 million. The AFC Champions League 2020 was revised to a centralized format, with a total investment of $32.6 million, which included a subsidy of $7.4 million paid to the host MA for assisting in staging Asia's premier club tournament. The total travel contributions paid in 2020 were $4.1 million, while the prize monies and participation fees, including performance bonuses paid for the 2020 edition, were $6 million and $8.2 million respectively. Balance sheet. The AFC's balance sheet showcases a higher total assets position on December 31st, 2020 of $267.1 million, an increase of $55.6 million from $211.5 million in 2019. Cash and fixed deposit balances remain healthy at $172.8 million, higher by $39.5 million. Deferred income increased by $40 million to $199.9 million at the end of 2020. Accumulated funds increased by $0.3 million due to the surplus in financial year 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic and resulting economic fallout continues to impact the world. But despite the great uncertainties, a budget surplus was achieved in 2020, further underlining the AFC's agility and commitment to adapt to the new normal. The next 8 years will see the Confederation work in close collaboration with its new commercial partners, and the AFC remains steadfast and resilient in ensuring the financial foundations are secured for the long-term development of Asian football.
Thank you, Mr. Mariano. Now, the AFC Audit and Compliance Committee Chairperson, Mr. Mohanad Fahmi Hamad, will now address the Congress via video.
Mr. President, Your Excellency Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, members of the AFC Executive Committee, MA Presidents, distinguished guests, friends and colleagues, Assalamu alaikum all. As Chairperson of the AFC Audit and Compliance Committee, I commend the 2020 financial statements to the 31st AFC Congress. The financial statements have been audited, and the AFC Audit and Compliance Committee and the joint meeting of the Audit and Compliance and Finance Committees have approved the auditor's report. We thank the auditors Ernst & Young for their diligence and their unqualified report on the AFC financial statements. I now support the AFC Finance Committee Chairperson in seeking your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohanad. Dear delegates, do you approve the audited financial statements and audited reports as at 31st December 2020? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present, 45. Members present and entitled to vote, 45. Valid votes cast, 41. Votes required for a simple majority, 21. We have 41 yeses and 4 abstain. Thank you for your approval. We move on to agenda item 14, approval of the budget 2021 and 2022. The AFC Finance Committee Chairperson, Mr. Mariano Araneta Jr., will now address the Congress via video.
Mr. President, members of the AFC Executive Committee, MA Presidents, distinguished guests, friends, colleagues, the budget presented here today marks a new beginning for the AFC. As we commence a new commercial cycle for the term 2021 and to 2028, the AFC has had to make strategic decisions to remain resilient to face the challenges caused by the pandemic. The budget reflects the new commercial reality and the revised competitions calendar. In accordance with Article 42 of the AFC Statutes, I recommend to the AFC Congress the budget for the financial years of 2021 and 2022. The Finance and Executive Committees have reviewed and approved the budget. We have prepared a short video to present the key financial highlights. I look forward to your kind approval. Thank you.
The Asian Football Confederation, AFC's 2021 and 2022 budget is anchored in delivering our commitment to our stakeholders and partners, while strengthening the foundations to unlock our future opportunities for growth and development. The pandemic-forced crisis caused a review and renegotiation of the commercial agreement signed in 2018 with Football Marketing Asia, FMA. And the 2021 and 2022 budgets reflect the proactive negotiations by the AFC to stabilize its commercial operations. Key budget highlights. Total revenue budgeted for 2021 and 2022 is at $152.4 million, and $173.9 million. The net revenue budgeted for 2021 and 2022 are $114.1 million and $127.3 million. Competition expenses for 2021 and 2022 are budgeted at $65.1 million and $99.9 million. A provision of $24 million and $12.5 million in 2021 and 2022 respectively has been made for the FIFA World Cup Finals subsidy. The overall total investment expenditure for 2021 and 2022 is budgeted at $187.5 million and $234 million. A deficit of $35.1 million and $60.1 million is budgeted for 2021 and 2022 respectively. Revenue. Revenue from contracts with commercial and broadcast partners is $139.9 million in 2021, increasing to $161.4 million in 2022. The total revenue is expected to increase from $152.4 million in 2021 to $173.9 million in 2022. Included in the total revenue is $12 million per year under the FIFA Forward Funding Program. Competitions. Competitions remain the cornerstone of the AFC's investment expenditure, underlying the pragmatic development budget approach. However, the AFC remains cautious on the number of tournaments to be delivered in 2021. A budget of $65.1 million has been allocated for 6 competitions in 2021, while $99.9 million has been allocated in 2022 for 11 competitions. The budget for the reformatted AFC Champions League is $37.1 million and $36.9 million for 2021 and 2022 respectively, with an additional $1.5 million and $1.9 million allocated for both years due to the increase in participating teams from 32 to 40. With the conversion of the AFC Cup to single-leg ties, the budget for 2021 and 2022 is $12.8 million and $14.2 million respectively. The AFC Under-23 Asian Cup qualifiers and final is budgeted at $14.6 million for 2021 and 2022, with additional subsidies granted to comply with the COVID-19 medical protocols. The AFC Asian Cup 2023 qualifications budget in 2022 of $6.1 million is due to the deferment of matches from 2021 to 2022. With the AFC's continued focus on women's football, $5.3 million is budgeted for the AFC Women's Asian Cup qualifications in 2021, with another $12.9 million for the finals in 2022. The AFC Futsal Asian Cup, originally planned for 2021, has now been cancelled and deferred to 2022, with a budget of $4.5 million. Member Association MA Development and Education. The AFC continued to support its MAs with the AFC Financial Assistance Program, AFAP, with a funding of $500,000 per MA in 2021 and 2022. The AFC Regional Association Fund, ARAF, was introduced in 2021 with a budget of $1.25 million per year, with the sole objective of improving the capacity and capability of the AFC's regional associations. underlining the AFC's commitment towards the capability development of its MAs during the ongoing pandemic. $10.3 million has been set aside for 2021 and 2022 for MA development and education programs. In 2022, in-person activities are planned for the Referee Academy and technical programs. Administration and special projects. With the restart of Asian football, $1.7 million and $1.8 million have been budgeted in 2021 and 2022 to sustain the interest of fans in the AFC's digital and communications space. The administrative and meeting expenses have been budgeted at $3.9 million and $6.5 million respectively, with cost savings seen in 2021 as meetings continue to be held in a virtual environment, with physical meetings tentatively planned only in 2022. Along with the review of other activities in 2021, together with a planned increase in the level of activities in 2022, $30.8 million and $39.6 million have been budgeted for 2021 and 2022 respectively. The 2021 and 2022 budgets signify the concerted efforts made by the AFC to ensure that the development of football in the pandemic era is sustained and continues uninterrupted to the maximum degree possible. The AFC is determined to continue its cautious and vigilant approach in order to build its resilience and adaptability to emerge stronger from the current crisis.
Thank you to Mr. Mariano for introducing the budget. Dear delegates, do you approve the budget 2021-2022? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 45, votes required for a simple majority 23. We have 45 yeses. Thank you very much for approving the budget 2021-2022. We now move on to agenda item 15, vote on proposals for amendments and alterations to the AFC statutes and regulations governing the application of the statutes and standing order of the Congress. Article 29 of the AFC Statutes Edition 2020 provides the following amendment mechanism for amendments or alterations to the AFC Statutes. 29.2. Proposals to amend or alter the statutes may either be submitted by 1. A member association and seconded by 2 others to the General Secretariat, or 2. The Executive Committee. The proposals submitted shall be in writing with a brief explanation. Article 29.4. All amendments and alterations to the statutes shall only be adopted with the approval of 3/4 of the votes cast by the member associations present and eligible to vote. Article 29.5. All amendments to the regulations governing the application of the statutes and/or the standing orders of the Congress shall be adopted only with the approval of a simple majority, more than 50%, of the votes cast by the member associations present and eligible to vote. The AFC Legal Committee Chairperson, Mr. Makhdoom Said Faisal Saleh Hayat, will now address the Congress via video.
Dear delegates, I wish you all a very good day. As has been communicated to all member associations of the AFC Executive Committee has recently approved several proposed amendments to the AFC Statutes and its regulations governing the application of the statutes following the recommendations of the AFC Legal Committee, which is chaired by me. Delegates, you have been provided with a version of the relevant documents which show these proposed changes, as well as a table setting out the respective proposed amendments and explaining reasons for each of these respective changes. Before any decision is taken on the proposed amendments, I would like to briefly introduce, by way of explanation, the background to these proposed amendments in order to assist your considerations. You will see that these some of these changes are proposed, which have been proposed to the AFC statutes, are to more clearly define the concept of football's stakeholders. This is in order to provide greater clarity regarding the AFC's objectives in this area. Moreover, certain amendments have also been proposed to clarify the official language of the AFC Congress and as such provide for the publication of an Arabic version of the AFC Statutes. Further, there are also amendments proposed to reflect the admission of the Northern Mariana Islands Football Association as an ordinary member of the AFC, as was decided at the 30th AFC Congress in 2020. And finally, an amendment to the regulations governing the application of the statutes is proposed to reflect the latest changes on the selection of the hosts for the AFC Under-23 Asian Cup. These are the amendments which have been proposed, and I look forward to your adopting these resolutions in this Congress. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Makhdoom. Dear delegates, do you agree to vote on the amendments to the statutes and regulations governing the application of the statutes as proposed by the AFC Executive Committee en bloc? Say yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 44, votes required for a simple majority 23. We have 44 yeses, 0 no and 1 abstain. Thank you for your approval. The Congress shall now vote on the amendments to the statutes and the regulations governing the application of the statutes as proposed by the AFC Executive Committee en bloc. Agenda item 15.1, do you approve the amendments to the statutes as proposed by the AFC Executive Committee? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 42, votes required for a 3/4 majority 32. We have 42 yeses and 3 abstain. Thank you for approving the amendments to the statutes as proposed by the AFC Executive Committee. Item 15.2, do you approve the amendments to the regulations governing the application of the statutes as proposed by the AFC Executive Committee? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. Here are the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 44, votes required for a simple majority 23. We have 44 yeses and 1 abstain. Thank you very much for approving the amendments to the regulations governing the applications of the statutes as proposed by the AFC Executive Committee. We move on to agenda item 16. Consideration of proposals submitted by member associations or the Executive Committee in accordance with these statutes. The AFC did not receive any proposals from the member associations in accordance with these statutes. Agenda item 17, appointment of external auditors for the term 2021 to 2024. The AFC Audit and Compliance Committee Chairperson, Mr. Mohanad Fahmi Hamad, will now address the Congress on this matter.
Mr. President, Your Excellency Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, members of the AFC Executive Committee, MA Presidents, distinguished guests, friends and colleagues, Assalamu alaikum all. As chairperson of the Audit and Compliance Committee, and in accordance with Article 70 of the AFC Statutes, I would like to recommend the appointment of the independent auditors for approval by the AFC Congress. The new term of the external auditors should cover the financial years ending December 31st, 2021 to 2024. The procurement process was conducted based on an open tender, and 5 reputable external audit firms participated in the tender. The committee evaluated all the submissions, taking into consideration factors such as the methodology and approach, scope of work, areas of audit, proposed fees, and credentials. Based on that evaluation, the AFC Audit and Compliance Committee would like to recommend to the AFC Congress the reappointment of Ernst & Young as the external auditors for the AFC for the financial years ending 31st December 2021 to 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohanad. Dear delegates, do you approve the appointment of Ernst & Young for the term 2021 to 2024? Select yes to vote in favor, select no to vote against, and select abstain to abstain. Press the submit button to submit your vote. The voting window of 45 seconds shall commence now. The voting window is now closed. I kindly ask the scrutineers to verify the voting results. We have the results. Members present 45, members present and entitled to vote 45, valid votes cast 43, votes required for a simple majority 22. We have 43 yeses and 2 abstain. Thank you for your approval. We move on now to agenda item 18, the President's closing remarks. It's my pleasure to invite the AFC President to provide his closing remarks and officially declare the Congress closed.
Thank you, Dato. Dear friends and colleagues, we're now at the end of the 31st AFC Congress, and I thank you all for your contribution and your support. As we approach 2022 and we reflect on 2021, there is room for optimism that the next year will be a period of celebration for our great continent. Again, the spotlight will shine brightly on Asia. I hope we can meet in person at next year's FIFA Congress in Doha. I wish everyone good luck, and for those celebrating Christmas, a happy Christmas to you all. And I wish a happy and a successful, and most of all, a healthy 2022 for everyone. Thank you all, and now I declare the 31st AFC Congress formally closed.
AFC Executive Committee members, Member Association delegates, representatives of the regional associations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the 31st AFC Congress has now concluded. Thank you for your participation and see you soon.